So you've been seeing other people going abroad to study, and you have that goal too of going abroad soon for your master's, for your PhD, for your MBA, and you are wondering, how are people affording this thing? How are people able to afford studying abroad? Is it that everyone can afford the tuition? Today I'll share with you 5 things you can do if you know deep down, you know that you cannot afford the tuition for you to study abroad. So let us get into that. So one thing you can do is you can get a sponsorship letter. I've talked about that a couple of times on this channel. But if you can't afford the tuition, but you still want to go to school and you need to show proof of funds to be able to get your visa, especially as an international student, you can get a sponsorship letter. And basically, what is this? It's a letter someone writes for you saying they will sponsor your education. And once they write this letter, they need to attach their bank statements or any other proof that they can afford it. And once they provide that letter, and they attach their bank statements or any other assets that they have, you can use that as your proof of funds. So basically, you can send that to your school saying your uncle, your friend, your in-law, your enemy, your neighbor wants to fund your education, and the school will just accept that and process your documents, and you can use that for your visa application as well. Now, the thing is, you need to remember a couple of points. One is, this person doesn't really need to send you the cash. They just need to say, I will fund doing, I will fund doing's education up to $50,000 or up to $100,000. They don't need to wire you that $50,000. They don't need to send you $1. But they just need to write that letter for you to scale through and get your student visa. Once you get your student visa, then there's nobody checks that, oh, did Doyen's uncle actually give her the $50,000? Nobody cares. Provided you pay the tuition, provided you figure yourself out once you get to school, nobody checks if that person that wrote that sponsorship letter actually funds you. And you can get a sponsorship letter from 2 to 3 people. So let's say your total cost of attendance or your total tuition is maybe $100,000 for the 2 years you're in that program. You can get 2 people or 3 people, or let's say 2 people that write you a letter for $50,000 each, and it doesn't have to be 50-50, it could be 70-30, whatever, provided the sum of the letters add up to the $100,000 that you need, and there's no problem. So if you want to know how to write this sponsorship letter, I have templates that you can basically copy, and I'll also link a video where I go into a lot of detail about the sponsorship letter, so you know about it, you know about mistakes to avoid, and you can copy the template for you to get and just send it to someone that can write you a sponsorship letter. And this person doesn't have to be your family member. It could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be a boss, whatever. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing that you can do if you know you can't afford the tuition is to ask the school for need-based funding. A lot of schools, when you apply and you get the admission offer, they also tell you we're offering you maybe $10,000 in funding. That funding they mention in your admission offer is the merit-based funding. Now, a lot of schools with a lot of money offer 2 kinds of funding, merit-based and need-based. So those are the 2. But the thing with the need-based funding is they will not offer you the need-based funding if you don't ask, and if they haven't determined that you actually really need it. So what is your job, my friend? Your job is to convince them that you really need the need-based funding. So this is how this works. Schools offer merit-based funding when based off of your application, and that is the one I always advise that you push hard to get the merit-based funding. And how can you do that? You can submit a great application, a very strong application, put your best foot forward, and you get good funds from the merit-based funding or scholarships. Now, the need-based, this is cash that the school is reserving every year to students that absolutely need it, that the school believes they'll be a great addition to their school, but these people just can't afford it. They can't afford it. So the school offers those people additional funding. That is the need-based funding. Now, what do you need to do to get this? You need to send emails. That's it. Emails. So you need to send emails to the school, basically explaining your situation and asking if you don't need to say, I need-based funding. You can just explain your situation, whatever is happening in your country. You can basically explain to them. You can explain, let's say you lost a family member, let's say you lost a breadwinner, let's say the economy, something happened to the exchange rate, things like that. You can basically explain to the school via an email and ask them if you could be considered again for additional funding, or if there are any need-based funding they can help you with, or if there are any other funding opportunities. And usually they'll get back to you saying, okay, we'll review your profile again. We'll send your profile again to the funding committee and they'll review. That's a good sign once they tell you that. Another thing you can do is to begin to email professors in and outside of your department, or in and outside of your specific program. So if you're doing a master's in business analytics, you can email professors in other business programs, in other programs that are related to the experience that you have. You can email them and basically ask if you can be their teaching assistant, research assistant, or their graduate assistant. Email professors. This is a bit of kind of like hustle, because you need to email a lot of professors. You need to tell them about yourself, and some of them will be like, I'm not really looking for someone, but my friend in this other department needs someone in this area. And then, they can connect you and you can have a conversation with them. And that's how a lot of people get jobs here. And no, you don't need to be in Canada before you do this. You can start doing this right now from your home country. Start emailing professors. Their names are public. Once you go to the school, just check professors in XX department in this school, the department you're going into or the program you're going into. You'll begin to see their names and you can email them. Many times a lot of international students think the only way to be a graduate assistant is if it comes with your admission. No, you can hustle it, you can get it, but this one you need to be ready to send those emails to a lot of professors and have chats with them, and maybe via Zoom or whatever, and they will tell you if you can be their teaching assistant. I know people that got these roles from Nigeria, and those roles paid so much more than I even ever got as a teaching assistant. So, and they got it before they even applied for their visa. So I'm just telling you this. So don't limit yourself. That's one other thing you can do. And I have a video where I talked in detail about how to reach out to professors and how to make sure that you get a GATA or RA position. So I will link that video in the description. Make sure you go there and watch that video. Before we continue, I just want to make sure, my friend, that you haven't forgotten that I have a link in the description where you can get all the templates. Say you want to ask for more funding from a school, you want to ask them for need-based funding, all of those things, you can just copy my templates. This year is the year where you do things efficiently. Don't waste your time trying to figure out how to write that email. Just copy what I have. I have templates for almost every situation that could arise in this grad school application process. So because I've been through it, I've helped a lot of people, I know the templates that you need. So just click the link and check those out. If they are right for you, get them. So another thing you can start doing is start applying for internships and co-ops. Now, a lot of people think they need to be in Canada or in the US before they can apply to internships. No, you need to apply to those companies now from your home country. Once you have the admission offer, you can apply to internships. You can apply for internships at different companies. And many people don't realize how much money you could make from an internship. Like, I'm just telling you, you can make a lot of money from an internship, from a 3-month internship that can almost pay your full tuition for a year. I said it because I know how much I earned when I interned here. I was shocked. That could easily pay for some, not my school because expensive school, but that could easily pay for most programs, okay, for 1 year, or could pay at least 50% of what the tuition would be for a year. So if you do a 3-month internship, or I did a 4-month internship, you can make good money. So apply for those internships, apply for those scopes, start applying now. Even if you don't get them, now you can get the experience of what it's like to interview for jobs abroad, because it's different. Honestly, like, if you need me to share tips about getting jobs and all of that, that will be in a separate video, but put a comment below and I will get to that. But the point is, there's no harm. Apply to all of those internships, especially if you're going for an MBA program. There's usually pre-MBA internships that the applications open even before the MBA program starts. Please apply to those pre-MBA internships, whether you're interested or not. Just keep applying so that you can build that muscle of like interviewing, going through the process and knowing what it's like in this part of the world. So that's one more thing you can do. You can make a lot of money from an internship. So apply to those internships, take them seriously. Another thing you can do is to start applying for student jobs. So there are a lot of student jobs, and honestly, I don't think they are well paying, but there are some you could be doing as a student that are well paying, that pay some good cash, okay? And depending on the country you're going to, you could work outside of campus even while studying. But all of that depends on the country you're applying to, or the countries you're thinking about going to. But I shared a video a couple of weeks or a month ago where I talked about jobs that international students can take up that could make them good money or easy cash. So I'll put that link in the description. Watch that video and see if there are some things you can do as a student that can get you good cash, at least to pay your living expenses or something. But some of them, depending on the skills that you have, can pay your tuition. Okay, I said that. So there are some student jobs where maybe you are helping a professor with a simulation or with a very specific project that maybe was sponsored by the World Bank or something for a very specific number of months. You can basically earn a lot of money from those kind of projects. So once you get an admission offer from a school, you can ask them to give you access to the student job portal. When you get, and many of them will say yes, we will give you that access. And once they give you access to their internal student job portal, you can begin to filter those jobs for like the highest paying per hour, and you figure out that you can actually make a lot of money from some of those jobs. But those are usually those jobs, those student jobs where you need very specialized skills, like specific skills. And if you already have those skills right now from your home country, like, what's stopping you? So please ask that school to give you access to their job portal and start applying for student jobs before you get to the school, because a lot of people are already applying. So just apply now. Don't say I'm still in my home country. These days nobody really cares. They could interview you over Zoom or something, or Teams. So don't limit yourself. Start applying to those jobs. So that's it, my friend. If you liked today's video, you know what to do, okay? Give it a thumbs up, and make sure you check the links in the description. There are always templates for everything that I've mentioned in today's video. If you need any templates, any guidance for this entire application process for you to study abroad, I'm pretty sure I've done a template about it, okay? So check the link in the bio, link in the description, and click it and see if I have the template that you need. So you just remove all the guesswork and you put your best foot forward this year. I'll see you in my next video.